just having a little sit down before I pack up. Show you what I've done today before I pack up and go home. It's a lovely day again, really nice. Lovely and sunny, not quite what I was expecting today. It's a bit windy though, so I've got my little sponge to go over the microphone. I want to show you the compost, because it's the time of year that I'm digging out everything that I made last year, spreading it on the beds as a heavy mulch, in preparation to start this year's pile. Generally how it goes, I'll start piling it up early in the year. It's ready about the same time next year, at which point it all comes out and I start again. Right, sponge on, let's go and have a look. I've got all the onions out in this bed. That's all mulched over. I've added a bit of bloodfish and bone and some chicken manure pellets, the old 6X. Got that one full up of onions. But I've still got these onions to deal with. And they're going to go in there. So this bed is an example, although the soil in here is lovely. The reason being, it's right next to the greenhouse and the shed. And all of my spent compost, anything that's left in a pot, it all gets chucked on here. And after a few years, that's really good quality soil there. But the mistake I made with this bed last year was I didn't mulch it particularly heavily. So it did get weeds. So I've just been taking out the grass and the cleavers there. Wasn't so bad over that side. It was along this edge here, all the grass had crept in. I've been digging out the compost, putting on a nice new layer of mulch, which I like to let that sit for maybe a week before I start planting into it, just to let it all settle down a bit, without me having to go around stamping it all down and that sort of thing. Just let the wind and the rain do it, and dry out a little bit as well initially, because being from the bottom of the heap, it's a bit damp, not too damp, but a bit damp. That's what I've just been digging out. Oh, sorry, shadows. That's what I've just been digging out of the heap. It's absolutely full of worms, full of life. Really lovely stuff. You wouldn't want to go planting seeds in that. You'd need to rot it down a bit further. But as I use it as a mulch, it's absolutely fine. It's ideal, in fact. You can see where I've been digging it all out. There's still loads to go. Although it looks like I'm nearly at the bottom of the pile, it just keeps going down and down and down. But this is all made up of last year's chicken litter, green waste, rabbit litter, bit of everything, sawdust. It's a nice mix of nitrogen and carbon, so it only takes a year to get there. It's really compacted at the bottom as well, so the more I dig out, it just keeps fluffing up and fluffing up. There's definitely going to be enough to finish this bed off, get that all nicely covered up. So I'm going to let that sit for a little while. Tomorrow I'll come and finish off barrowing the rest of that on, get the rest of the onions out, and then that will be clear. That'll be ready to start taking this year's waste for a new heap. So that means I can give the chickens a big clean out, get all of their litter and waste. I can get the mower out, go all around, get a ton of grass clippings. That's so useful for the compost. When you get that much brown material from the chickens, although there's a lot of nitrogen in it, what with their muck in it, you can really boost the nitrogen just by getting the mower out. So I'm hoping to do that tomorrow, provided it's not snowing. There are rumours, I'm not sure I believe them. But that's not bad. I'll leave that there for today. That's enough of the heavy work. I'm going to go home, take a bag of that compost with me, and I'll get sowing some seeds. To put on the windowsill. I'll probably start off my cucumbers, sweet corn, doing them indoors. Right, I'll show you those later. See you in a bit. Before I leave, I just remembered I've got a bucket of dried out horse poo here. When it got delivered last year, I took out some of the fresher bits and stuck them in the greenhouse with the intention of drying it out so that I can do a cup of poo tea. I've got the old Kelly kettle, and I've heard that in hotter parts of the world they use dried animal dung as fuel for those Kelly kettles. I generally just use sticks and bits of wood and whatever I've got knocking around on the allotment, but I'll do a video soon and we'll see if we can brew up a cup of tea using horse manure. I'm looking forward to that. I've just started off a few plants which benefit from an early start, but which aren't able to go outdoors or in the greenhouse yet. So it's just a select handful here of things that I can grow, well, germinate on the table indoors. And then I'm hoping that by the time they've germinated and they need a bit of light, a couple of weeks will have passed, and we'll be past any risk of frost then, and I can move on to the greenhouse up the allotment. So what I've chosen to start off, that's all sweet corn. There's about 65 or 70 sweet corn there. Early Bird is an early variety, and Incredible is a slightly later one, which I always grow because it tastes so good. Those ones there are melons, yellow melons. What do they call them? Honeydew type melons. And there's my cucumbers. And yesterday, when I was out in town, I picked up a few tomato plants. I thought, why not save myself a little bit of effort this year, buy some young ones. What have we got? I need a couple more because I usually grow 6 main tomato plants plus a tumbling cherry tomato. I think this one's my tumbler. And I've got 4 main ones there, so I need to pick up 2 more from somewhere. Yeah, that's a tumbler. And then the other ones we got, they're all well-known varieties. Gardener's Delight, Moneymaker, Alicante. They're all very reliable. And oh yeah, I've got a beefsteak called Super Steak. So again, like these ones here, they're going to be indoors until the threat of frost has passed, and then they can go to the greenhouse. And here's how the potatoes are doing. These have been sitting in the shed. Well, actually, during the day recently, while it's been nice and bright and sunny, they've been out getting some sun. But at night they go in the shed, and they're all starting to chip very nicely. That's me first earlies, foremost. Again, I'm hoping maybe just a week or so, and I'm a bit more confident about the weather staying reasonable. I'll stick these out on the allotment. Nice healthy little stubby, stout green chits. You have to be careful how you say that, don't you? Stubby, stout green, yeah. Right. There you go, quite a productive day. I picked up my peas as well. What have we got? Onward, and we've got green shaft, Hurst green shaft. I've grown that lots. And then also I'm going to get sown pretty soon, sometime this week, all the year round cauliflower, butternut squash, swede. Now they're not so dependent on being indoors. I could put them up in the greenhouse today and sow them if I wanted to. They'll just come through when they're ready. But these ones get a little bit of special pampering, and we'll get some nice cucumbers, tomatoes, sweet corn and melons.